Welcome to Đồng Nai Radio and Television Station. Here comes to the news today. Vice Chairman of Đồng Nai Provincial People's Committee, Nguyễn Xuân Hùng, have just chaired a meeting to hear the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism report on the process of tourism development projects in Đồng Nai Province. Regarding the Tháp Mai Bowl bowling projects, the investor has now prepared resources for implementation. After being approved by the Provincial People's Committee, the process of compensation for 44 households with an area of nearly 9 hectares in the projected forest area in Định Quán district is still lower than required. For the projects of the Old Dong Chương Island tourist area, it is recommended to soon handle the property on the plan to implement the project implementation procedures. Vice Chairman of Provincial People's Committee, Nguyễn Xuân Hùng, asked the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism to quickly summarize problems and difficulties of the relevant departments and localities, and at the same time coordinate with the relevant local departments and agencies, soon working with the investor of the two projects mentioned above. Plastic waste is becoming a global challenge, threatening many fields and directly affecting the sustainable development of the tourism industry. Recently, the tourism industry has launched a project reducing plastic waste in the tourism. Vietnam ranks fourth among the countries with the most amount of plastic waste discharged into the sea. In 2019 alone, it is estimated that the amount of plastic waste in Vietnam's beach resorts is over 230,000 tons. The specific objective of the project is to increase the awareness of all levels, sectors, business people, and the tourists about reducing plastic waste. Solutions and initiatives to reduce plastic waste were piloted in several restaurants, hotels, resorts, and tourist attractions in Ninh Bình and Quảng Nam provinces, and disseminated and replicated nationwide. In particular, the projects will develop pilots and issue criteria for recognizing tourist enterprises without plastic waste. The People's Committee of Long Han District has just held a conference to summarize the propaganda and dissemination of legal education, judicial work in 2022. In 2022, the judicial work in Long Han District has completed the set targets. The judicial fields are organized and implemented seriously and effectively. Cadres and civil servants of the District Justice Department always ensure the principle of democracy and openness in the implementation of processes, contribute to ensuring security and order, and socio-economic development in the locality. The work of law dissemination, education, classrooms, mediation, and community-level construction meeting the legal access standards in 2022 included more than 320 meetings with over 15,000 participations, received over 210 complaints and denunciations, reconciled into 96 cases, and are dealing with 22 cases. The US and China exchanged offensive words at the Munich International Security Conference in Germany. The exchange of the words clearly showed the deepening disagreement between the two countries. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and the top Chinese diplomat Wang Yi both spoke at the Munich Security Conference yesterday. Harris says the U.S. feels unsettled as Beijing's relationship with Moscow have deepened since the war in Ukraine began. He went on to argue that China's military support for Russia could further weaken the rules-based order. Meanwhile, Mr. Wang Yi criticized the U.S. for shooting down one of its hot air balloons. He described it as almost extreme. Also yesterday, on the sidelines of the Security Conference in Munich, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Mr. Wang Yi met. This is the first face-to-face meeting between the senior officials of the two countries since the U.S. shot down the Chinese hot air balloon. A State Department spokesman says he did not release further details of the meeting. Former resident Jimmy Carter, 98 years old, the oldest living U.S. resident, received hospital care at home in Plain, Georgia. According to a statement from the Carter Center, after his hospital stay, Mr. Carter decided to spend the rest of his time at home with his family and receive hospice care instead of additional medical intervention. Mr. Carter beat brain cancer in 2015 but faced a series of health problems in 2019 and had to have surgery to remove pressure on his brain. This is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching. Have a good time. Goodbye.